Welcome to UltimateMarBro's. Before we really get into the history of Final Fantasy VII, I just want to say a couple of things. Um, this history is going to be just a little bit different from my Spyro or Crash Bandicoot games, because with Crash and Spyro, the history is one continuous story with the same characters. The Final Fantasy franchise is quite a bit different. Each game is its own different world with its own different characters. And Final Fantasy VII really has its own game. It's got a movie, a sequel, and now it's got a remake. Um, and really, everybody and their mother and their grandmother knows the story of Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So yeah, here's Final Fantasy VII history. Here we go. Final Fantasy VII was released January 31st, 1997 for the PS1, much to everybody's happiness. It was developed by Square Enix, published by PlayStation. The director was Yoshinori Kitase, and the producer was Hironobu Sakaguchi. It was originally made for the Super Nintendo. Unfortunately, there were many delays and technical difficulties with Nintendo's cartridges that forced them to move to the huge capacity of the CD-ROM of PlayStation. Personally, that makes me very happy because I am a PlayStation person through and through. And for me, this was actually the very first game that I ever played that had multi-disc. Where what I mean by that is, you couldn't start the second disc or the third disc without having at least a save file completing the entire first or second disc, which for me was mind-boggling at the age of 7. While I'll be honest, by today's standards, the game is no Mozart or Van Gogh, but it really was a technological marvel at the time. They pushed what could be described as character models, storytelling, graphics, gameplay to a whole new level that really was never seen before and has been emulated so much that most gameplays nowadays really can take a lot of liberties from the original FF7. Now, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children was released September 14, 2005, and it's the only one that's actually a movie of this history for Final Fantasy VII. It was directed by Tetsuya Nomura and produced by Yoshinori Kitase, Shinji Hashimoto, and Ichiro Hazama. And the movie, actually takes place 2 years after the ending of Final Fantasy VII, the original game. It's a great movie. It has some translation errors, faux pas I would go with for Tifa, especially the infamous scene where she's saying dilly dally shilly shally. God. Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII, was released August 15th, 2006, roughly a year after the movie, for the PS2. It was developed by Square Enix. It was published by Square Enix. The director was Takayoshi Nakazato. Producer was Yoshinori Kitase. Honestly, this game was a lot of fun at the time, but if you go back and try to play it now, it's really got a lot of clunky controls and hard to really understand what's going on. Sure, you're playing as probably the best character or one of the best, Vincent Valentine, but he's not enough to keep the game playing with all of its clunky tools, clunky controls, and just weird pacing in all honesty. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core was released March 24th, 2008 for the PSP. It was developed by Square Enix. It was still published by Square Enix as well. The director was Hajime Tabata, and the producer was Hideki Imaizumi. Now, this is actually a prequel to the original Final Fantasy VII that came out in 1997. Unfortunately, I never had a chance to play it because I never had a PSP, and I didn't even know about this game's existence until I did some research on it after I got Final Fantasy VII Remake. And from what I understand, the whole purpose of this game was to give a side character who was just minimal in the original game a full backstory, and he's become one of, if not the most fan favorite character throughout the entire series. Zack. I don't remember his last name. Sorry, guys. Final Fantasy VII Remake was released April 10th, 2020 for the PS4. It was developed by Square Enix Business Division 1. It was published by Square Enix. Director was Tatsuya Nomura, Naoki Hamaguchi, and Motomu Toriyama. The producer was Yoshinori Kitase. Now, if you're going into this game thinking it's going to be a rehash of the original game, you're sadly mistaken. This game is pretty much the first 5 hours of the original game turned into a 40 to 50 hour game. Really, what FF7 Remake has really done is just given a beautiful overhaul to an original awesome game, made the characters look phenomenally better, and has just brought this game to a whole new generation that has never even considered playing the original. And this game has done a fantastic job. From this point forward, I want to just talk a little bit about the main characters that you'll be seeing throughout the game and how they've evolved from their original blocky PS1 era to what they look like now. Now, Cloud Strife here is the main character of the original Final Fantasy VII game. Now, you can tell that there is a monumental change from the way he looks from the PS1 to the PS4 era. Now, you can actually feel the weight behind everything he's doing from his facial expressions. You couldn't get that from the original. You could tell that he's really doing his all for whatever the situation calls for. And you can tell that sometimes he's kind of struggling with what he needs to do. But through it all, he's a soldier and he will move forward. You can really tell the love and care that the creators put into not only Cloud's design, but all of the characters' design. You can feel like the world is lived in, and you can tell that whoever really designed everything really put a lot of time and love into it. Barrett Wallace is the leader of the anti-Shinra terrorist faction that is going against Shinra, and he's really comes off as a hard ass who really doesn't like you at the beginning. But when you really get to know him, and you'll find out that he's a really loving, caring father. He really cares about his employees and the people around him, and you can tell that he's really genuinely trying to do what he thinks is best for not only himself but for the planet. Now, from top to bottom, we have Wedge, Biggs, and Jess. Now, in the original game, they were just kind of mindless minions who follow Barrett into whatever he's doing, and they really don't have any character growth. Like, you really have no reason to care for these characters other than they are there to help you. But in the remake, you got a little arc with them, and Jess, she became a fan favorite with her flirty nature, always trying to hit on Cloud. She was having so much fun, and she's probably, without a doubt, the most standout character of all of the characters in this game that isn't part of the main cast. Tifa Lockhart is your martial artist throughout the game and is always the one that cares the most about Cloud. She's his childhood friend, and she's always trying to get him involved with what's happening around her, and she always wants to be close to him. Whether that's a romantic reason or not, I don't know. I personally hope that it is, because I really would like to see these two characters actually get together, but that's another point. Now, you can tell that whoever really made Tifa's redesign has put in a lot of care and love into her, especially her beautiful red eyes. Look, I love the color red, and I love her eyes. I love her fighting style. I think without a doubt, Tifa Lockhart is my favorite character next to Cloud and Aerith. Eric Gainsborough. As you can tell from the PS1 to the PS4, there's a huge overhaul. She looks so much more beautiful in the PS1, PS4 remake. Um, and there's huge differences between her personality from the PS1 to the PS4. And the PS1, she's kind of she's a friendly, happy-go-lucky person, but she's kind of naive and kind of keeps to herself. I mean, yes, she sticks with Cloud and everything, but it's nothing compared to her remake version. In the remake, she's not nearly as naive. She knows things that are going on that the rest of the characters don't know, such as Cloud and even the players. She actually has understanding of what's happening, why it's happening, but she's unable to really explain. And so she's more outgoing and more adventurous and really ducks in and starts getting into all the action. And I love her for that. Red 13. Now, as you can see, even here, there's a pretty major difference between what they look like from the PS1 to PS4. I mean, yes, you can tell in the PS1 that he's supposed to be an animal of some type, but in the PS4, he really looks like a red wolf or tiger or something like that. The only downside is he's the only main character that's not a playable character in this game. And I really didn't understand why they did that until I finished the game and realized that you'd only have him for like an hour after you really get him into your party. So it's really not really that important to play as him. I just really hope he becomes a more playable character in the next game. And his voice actor, all the voice acting is phenomenal in this game. Now for what you're all waiting for. Sephiroth Hojo, the big main bad guy. Now, you can really tell that there's a huge difference. If you ask me, I think they put the most time and effort in designing Sephiroth for the PS1. Because even in the PS1 version, he looked far better than every other character. Now, I think it's because he was supposed to be some kind of legendary hero at one point who fell into madness. But you can't really tell that he's insane in his PS1 version. In the PS4, just look at him. You could just tell that he's oozing with evil and that he's just... something is not right with this guy. Now, I don't know if it's a stroke of genius or just stupidity for why they make it so obvious who the main bad guy is really early on in the game. Like in the original, they built him up for hours. Now, this time, within 30 minutes, you actually see Sephiroth. That's not okay. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that. One thing that I really do like is that they show the love triangle between Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith. But you also see that Tifa and Aerith are not just like acquaintances like in the original. Here, they've got a lot of time to get to know each other, build a bond and trust between one another. Even though they're kind of fighting for Cloud, you can tell that there's actually a genuine friendship between them. From this point forward, I just want to show the differences between the PS1 and the PS4 for the bar, which is a really major hub for the original PS1 Final Fantasy VII and its remake counterpart. And then I want to show the slums. In the original PS1, the town really didn't look like it was very much lived in. Sure, you see people and everything, but when you look at the PS4 and you just see the vibrance that's all around, you see people actually living their lives in these slums, and it feels like a place where people have and do actually live in. Welcome to UltimateMarBro's. I'm your host, UltimateMar, and today we're going to be playing Final Fantasy Remake. Oh, I'm so excited to play this. I really am. Oh God, this. If you watched the beginning and seen my history, uh, part of this video, Final Fantasy VII really was monumental to me as a gamer. So let's just get onto it. Let's start default. Yeah, let's go with norm difficulty. The player-controlled character will attack and defend automatically. Now, allowing you to focus on execute commands. No, I want to do this myself. But damn, this brings back so many memories. Raise the volume up a bit. And already the introduction is a little bit different from the original Final Fantasy VII. You know what, I'm just gonna stop talking now. Wow. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Oh my God. You couldn't get these graphics in 1997. Wow. Look at that. It feels like an actual city where people live, you know? It doesn't feel like it's a carbon copy cut out of the original. Like, I feel like I can go into these homes and just see how people live. Oh my God. Fantastic. Yep, road closed ahead. Got that everywhere here in Texas. Battle Director Teruki Endo. Oh. I hope those kids are having fun. You know, honestly, I thought this was kind of ripping off Advent Children until this moment. If you've seen the movie, you understand what I'm talking about. If not, you don't know what I'm talking about. I wonder if I could turn up the volume, the audio. My girl Aerith. Now this is how the original started, with Aerith like this. Oh my God, she's beautiful. A lot of love and care has really gone into this remake. Uh-oh, she's startled. What's bothering her? I don't know what's running from. Run, Aerith, run. I actually do know because I've beaten the game twice, but I don't want to spoil anything. Come on, you bastards. You know what's gonna help? Oh, you need a quick kick in the nuts, asshole. I love the little details, like her ribbon. Like, what is she looking at? Me, the player? Because that's some meta shit right there. But yeah, all of that is how the original really started, except for being spooked. I don't really remember her being spooked in the original, but her dropping the flowers, guys stepping on it, that happened in the original. I'm not a drummer, sorry. Hell yeah. Alright. Iconic entrance. Here we go. This is definitely, scene for scene, the iconic entrance. Granted, with better graphics. Mako Reactor 1. Look, the enemies have never looked better. You feel like they're each an individual person. Here's Wedge and Jess. Biggs. Barrett.
Get down here, Merc.
That's the exact voice I expected from Barrett. And Cloud has never looked better. Kingdom Hearts wishes they could have made Cloud look like this. Chapter 1, the destruction of Mako Reactor 1. Awesome. I just like destroying stuff. But look at this. Look at the world. I mean, really take a look at it. I mean, you can see the muscles on Cloud and everything. His soldier outfit, which is kind of stupid, honestly. Like, you could choose a better outfit if you ask me, but I guess it'll work. Let's see.
Halt! Who goes there?
They're enemies.
You're up.
Basics of battle. Use square to attack with Cloud's sword. Hold square to unleash an attack capable of hitting multiple enemies. Okay, cool.
You're coming with us. Nice and easy.
Don't think so. Not bad.
Oh, wow. Leveled up. Cloud is now level 7. Now, I don't know if you know this. In the original, when you did this first battle, Cloud actually went up to level 7 as well. That's a little bit of Easter egg for you old-time gamers like me. And there's no turn-based now. You just hit buttons.
Who in the hell? Hands where I can see them.
Have fun.
Tease. The ATB gauge. The ATB gauge fills as time passes and by attacking with square. Once a bar is full, your character can perform special actions. Charges can be used immediately or saved. Try attacking the enemy to fill the gauge. Cool.
Freeze! Move and we shoot!
Now square is just a regular attack and triangle is Punisher mode. It switches your stances and makes Cloud swing the sword much faster, which is something he didn't have in the original. Use the ATB gauge. Using. You can expand ATB gauge charges to perform battle commands such as using abilities, magic, or items. Press X and try using one of the commands. Alright.
Go ahead.
Command. Abilities. Bravery. Let's go on this guy.
Oh, brace yourself.
Awesome.
All right.
See, this is Punisher mode. It makes your sword
Was never in
move
doubt.
faster. Checking data out of battle. Main menu and map. When not in battle, you can check the map, open menus, and view various kinds of information. Use the pause to open the main menu. Use this part, whatever the hell this is called, to access the map and check your various objectives. Alright. Auto actions. When whatever the hell that icon appears, move your character close to it to automatically jump, crouch, or perform whatever other actions is required. These are all little touches that weren't in the original, obviously. You know, for those anime fans out there, Air is actually a pretty good anime. Let's just go around. destroy some things. Banana white. Delicious, fresh, healthy. Quality apple juice? Is that what it says? Cool.
Drop the weapon!
I don't think so.
You got this.
Yeah, what he said.
Okay. Avoiding attacks. Guarding and evading. You can defend against enemy attacks by pressing R1 to guard or circle to evade. A successful guard reduces the amount of damage suffered and also charges your ATB gauge. Okay.
You're coming with us.
Can't get surrounded. Try harder. Enough.
I love Cloud. I really do. Alright. Abilities. Let's go with focus thrust on that guy. Oh, you're not dead. Oh, and as you can see, even if you're just standing still, your ATB gauge at the bottom where your HP is, you know what? I'll just leave that there. HP and NPR, it automatically feels, but it feels much lower when you're not doing anything.
Nothing to it.
What happened? It just stopped moving. Alright. Here's the main menu. From the main menu, you can view your inventory and gameplay status, as well as save and load your game. You know, I'm going to stop this episode here today because I had the long history. I hope you guys enjoy this. I will hopefully continue doing FF7. If you like what you see here, please hit the like button, smash that subscribe, and crush that bell. Thanks, guys. See you later.